Hello everyone, so this is my video on creating an affordable look with affordable products. I think it looks super nice, and take it with a grain of salt that you probably can find these products for different prices, so just keep that in mind. I just like to take a brush and then I put my concealer on top of it, and then I just put it in the spots where I need it before my foundation. I just like it because it gives me extra coverage. And then I go in with my Real Technique sponge. You can use any sponge that you have. These ones are just affordable. And then I just, with it, it is damp, and so then I go in and I blend in all of it around my eyes. And wherever I put the concealer, I just like to blend it all in. And then I go in with two foundations. I use the L'Oreal Pro Glow and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I like to combine the two because I feel like it gives a really nice finish while also keeping me matte. I also like to combine with a little bit of the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid, just for that more of like a dewy finish. It's really nice in the summertime. As you saw, I put them all together on the back of my hand, and then I take the sponge and I dab it onto my hand, and then I just blend it all over my face. And just make sure that everything's super even, and I prefer using a sponge over a brush just because I'm not a big fan of brush strokes, but you can also use a brush, whatever you have. After going and finishing all of my foundation, I go back in with my concealer, same brush, same concealer, and I just do another layer underneath my eyes and on my acne, which I actually was having a pretty good day with this today, but normally it's pretty bad, so I'll go in and I'll spot conceal. I usually try to minimize it as much as I can because I am not a fan of how it looks. And then after that, I like to let the concealer sit, and then I'll take some Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I will take a little brush. This one is just from a set that I have from like Forever 21 or something. And I'll take and put it in the powder, which you'll see me do. And then I like to individually set each of my pimples because I feel like it just helps them like last longer before I like set them with like a regular powder. But I'll blend it in with a sponge and then just go in, which you won't see on, like you'll see a little bit on camera, but I like to go in and just tap on there because I hope that it doesn't move around the product as much, and then the coverage on there stays longer if it ever comes off during the day. After letting my concealer sit underneath my eyes for a while, I do like to bake just because I have really oily skin and I feel like it helps keep my makeup in place underneath my eyes and on my nose and everything. So yeah, I take my Coty Airsun powder, which is very, very, very powdery and can kind of make a mess. You just have to be a little careful, but I take it on my Real Technique sponge, and then I will just pack it underneath my eyes and just on places where I want my makeup to last a lot longer. And then I let it sit for a while, and then I'll move on to other things while it's baking. And then I like to go in with bronzer. The one I'm using right here is from the e.l.f. bronzing palette. It comes with like 4 pans. This one's just the last one that I have, and I've hit pan on it. And it is nice. It can be a little powdery sometimes. You just want to go in very light with a very light hand. I go in with like a really large fan brush. This one I found on Amazon, and it was like $2. It was super awesome and affordable. But yeah, I just like, it gives me a very like soft look, and it doesn't give me like super harsh lines, and it just blends out super easy. I like it more than like a traditional bronzing brush. But yeah, I'll just go in like where like my jawline is, like underneath my cheeks, and then I'll go into my forehead, and yeah, and then under my jawline and everything. And then I just like giving myself like a nice bronze look. I don't really fully contour, but I do like that nice like kind of more bronze look since I am very pale. Here's where you'll see me fill in my eyebrows. I do like to use an eyeshadow just because I like the effect that it gives, and then I use like an angled eyeliner brush just because I feel like you can get the most precise look with them. You'll also notice that it takes me like a million tries to get it right just because I like how they look specifically, and so it usually takes me a while to really get the shape similar and just how I like them to look. So yeah, you'll see a lot of cuts of me doing my eyebrows. After that, I'll go back in to my magnetic palette. This is a super affordable one that I even got from like Amazon. It was like $10. And I'll go back in with my my e.l.f. bronzing palette pan, and I like to just use that as a transition color just because I feel like it makes the face look very uniform. I'll just take a fluffy brush or like just a nice little blending brush and just sweep it over the eyes, blending it in the crease, making sure the outer corners are super blended so it doesn't look splotchy or patchy or anything. After my crease is pretty much blended, I will take the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows, which are so nice and pigmented and incredible. Like literally they blend amazing. Like you can use them with a brush, and then you can apply it with your fingers. Here I'm just applying it with just to darken my crease a little bit with a brush, and I just really like how they look. Like I've had these for forever. Like they work so well, and they are a little more expensive for a pan, but like you could just rub this on your eyes and just blend it out a little bit and just give yourself like a nice little like a little simple like smoky look, or you can go full on, and they look so nice. Here I'm taking another one. This one is in Eternal Sunshine. This one I'm just going to take on my finger and apply it all over my lid. These ones do apply really well with brushes, but I feel like for the best like glitter payoff in them, you just need to apply them with your finger, like, or just apply them wet with like more flat sponge, or a flat brush, and just go back in and just apply it all over your lid and maybe a little in the crease if you want more of a sparkle. I just really like how they look because they just look so nice, and they're really flattering to really any eye color. And then just going back in with the e.l.f. like bronzer, I just take this brush and I just take a little bit of the bronzer on the brush, and then I just sweep it on the top of my eyelid just to darken up the crease and just to blend out any harsh edges. Now that my bake has set, I'm going to take this large fluffy brush. I got this one on Amazon as well for a super affordable price. It was like $2 or $3 or something, but I'm just going to go back in with my Coty Airspun and just sweep away the bake. And you know, it helps prevent creasing, and it just looks super nice, and you have a super finished look, and it just looks nice. Then go in with this blush from NYX. I really, really like it. It's super pigmented, and it kind of is like a highlighter blush, which I like just because I like putting on highlighter, but I'll go in with a smaller fluffy brush, and I like to go a little heavy-handed on it just because afterwards I go over my face with like a powder just to kind of blend everything together. So I prefer a more blushed look rather than a more bronzed look, so I tend to go a little more heavy-handed with blush. I then go in with the Stargazer loose powder in white, just because I like to use it for underneath my eyes to brighten them, just because I do have very dark circles underneath them. So sometimes I feel like just adding a little bit of like a white powder just really kind of helps improve how they look. So I'll just put it on my Real Technique sponge, put it underneath my eyes, and then once it sits there for just a second, I will take my kabuki brush and just put a little bit of regular Maybelline Fit Me powder or Coty Airspun, and then I'll just wipe it away just for a more white highlighted look, just because normal powders like that tend to be a little bit too dark, so I just like this one. I then like to go in with my liquid lipstick. This is from NYX. It is their liquid lingerie in a cabaret show. It's one of their newer colors. It is just so pretty. Best formula I've ever used for liquid lipstick. It lasts all day. It can be a bit drying towards the end of the night, but just make sure you apply some chapstick and moisturize with it and exfoliate regularly, and your lips will be fine. I then go in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder with my big kabuki brush. This is really just to help blend everything together because I really don't want any harsh lines in my blush or my bronzer. And as mentioned, I do go kind of heavy-handed with both, especially my blush. So this is just good to help minimize all those lines and make sure that it doesn't look splotchy or powdery or anything like that. I then go back in with the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid, and I like to use this as a highlighter. Here I put on a little bit too much, but I also really do like that more blinded highlight look, and so I like the blinding the haters highlight, and so that's why I was like, oh, I'm a little surprised, but I really like how it came out, and I'll minimize it with powder. Then we'll go in with the Stargazer powder again on my Real Technique sponge, and I'll just place it underneath where my bronzer is, just to give it more of an angled look. I do like a more, I guess in a way, a severe bronzer look, just where it's kind of like contouring, but I just like to clean it up underneath just so it doesn't look muddy or like a weird stripe. I just do it really quickly, and then I buff it out with a blending brush. This one had no excess powder or extra powder on it, so I just went back in essentially with a clean brush and just blended it out a little bit more. And then I just went in with the Maybelline powder again and just did a couple extra blending steps. I then went in with the Vegas Nay from e.l.f. False eyelashes. I am fairly new to false eyelashes, but I really like how they look, and these ones are super affordable and they last a super long time, and they're very, very comfortable, especially if you're not very comfortable with false eyelashes. So it does take a little bit of time and a little bit of an extra step, but it is nice to have them, and I feel like they really just finish and complete a look. And then just go in with your fave mascara to blend them in. This way they're a little more even. Then you're going to want to set it all. So this is the Maybelline Master Fix. I tend to cycle between this one and the L'Oreal Infallible one. This one's really nice, and it has a very even spray, so I really like to use it so I don't get weird water spots all over my face. And here's the finished look. I think it looks really nice. And here are the total costs for the products. Hey, so I just filmed this. Sorry if the lighting's a little different. I'm trying something out. I'm obviously a new YouTuber. I don't have the expensive diva rings, and also too, it's like you can see daylight just gives you a more like natural look, even though for some reason from where I am on the side of my house I'm getting a lot of like highlight and flashback, and okay, sure, but whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to film this, give you guys a look around. I personally think that you can achieve very nice makeup looks with more affordable products. Pretty much all of these products I use normally, itchy, so itchy. But I mean, yeah, I personally think that you can kind of do any makeup look with anything if it's a semi-decent product and it doesn't cost a mint. The only thing that I do normally use that I recommend is like a Tarte Shape Tape. I think that's like probably the best concealer I've ever used in my existence. And I mean, even like eyeshadows, like I have a couple palettes and like they're good, like they're really good, but like there's also other really good affordable stuff. So I mean, just take that with a grain of salt. But pretty much everything else, like I use this foundation, I use all the foundations that I use the highlight and everything, like I use the mascara. This is one of the first times that I'm like wearing lashes, like, because I normally, I'm like, I used to be like, oh, well, I can just achieve the look of falsies with mascara, and I'm like, yeah, you can, but like there's something about like the wispy pretty look that I'm like, I'm feeling myself a little bit. Also too, just in general, this is also a really good look for the summer if you want to have a more like radiant glow, and also have your glasses not rub off everything on your face, because that is a major problem that I have. I get the little rub marks, but I think it looks pretty good. Right here you can't really tell that I'm wearing eyeshadow, but I am. But also too, that highlight though. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you did, I really appreciate it, and I think this will be my first YouTube video. I'm trying to make a plus size channel, even though there's lots of those. So if you do enjoy this video, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you thought. Thanks.